what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 51 of the Alchemy Devlog. It's your pal Isaac here with the latest news from the team. In this episode, we're going to take a look at Call of Cthulhu. It's out on the marketplace now and you can pick it up today. We're also going to take a look at module changelogs and an update to in-game universe search. I'll also take a few moments to talk about what the team's working on next and what you can expect from us over the next couple of weeks. As always, I will also answer some of the questions that have come in through the Devlog Q&A form. If you have a question of your own, you can get that to me through the link down below in the description. Let's dive in. First up, before we dive into Call of Cthulhu, I wanted to announce that we have a new shop up on the internet. The internet is the thing that we're all on right now, all the time. You can find that on shop.alchemyrpg.com. Again, we'll have a link to that down below in the description. That's not the shop. Let's go to the shop. In our shop, you can find Lore of Ethera, The Lost Druid, and Dark Symmetry products, including some Kickstarter overstock for those limited edition hardcovers, and a bunch of other stuff from the Lore of Ethera line. And you can also find some Alchemy V1 Kickstarter overstock, as well as some just general Alchemy merch, hoodies, playmats, pins, those sorts of things. So head on in there and take a look if any of that interests you. Even if it doesn't interest you, head on over there and see if maybe it starts to. All right, Call of Cthulhu. Let's get in here and create a new game. I'll select Call of Cthulhu as my game system, and then we're going to kick things off with the Starter Set Enhanced Edition as our module. Quick start. 23 scenes in there. Let's take a look. So I love this. I've shown this one before, I think in previous episodes, but I really love the animated art for this kind of cover scene that you join the game in. It's just got kind of everything you expect to find in a Cthulhu game. Tentacles, mystery, graveyards, blue-green colors, all around. I just think it's a really evocative piece, and I love that it kind of throws you into this as soon as you join this game. Beyond that, we've got a bunch of other really cool art in here, animated scenes in the Alchemy Enhanced Edition that will be kind of general purpose scenes that you can use in any Call of Cthulhu adventure, not just something like the Alone Among the Flames or the starter set content, but in any game. Even stuff that's not Cthulhu, any sort of horror campaign could benefit from some of these scenes. Lots of good stuff in here. There's Alchemy Enhanced music as well, and just all around cool stuff in this game. Next up, let's add a player to this game and take a look at some of the mechanics. Over here on the player side of this, I've got several pre-mades to pick from. We've got Wentworth, Nevada, Lois, Keiko, and Jesse. We're going to go ahead and take the science student for this example, Keiko Kane. And we've got not a lot of changes to the character sheet since I last showed this off in a preview a few weeks ago, but a lot of cool mechanical stuff under the hood. So in terms of our Call of Cthulhu character sheet, we have this investigator tab where you have all of your basic investigator information, your age, your name, pronouns, residence, birthplace, and all of your characteristics and attributes here. You've also got the long list of Call of Cthulhu skills that you can manipulate here, and some notes for your character. As with any game system on Alchemy, you have a few kind of core kit pieces, such as the ability to add equipment here in the gear section under weapons. You've got some notes about your gear and possessions, and your cash and other assets. On the spells tab, you can add spells from Call of Cthulhu. These work a little bit different than other spells in older systems that we've worked on because this is a sheet builder system, and so we've implemented these spells directly into the sheet so you can find those. Actually, I don't have any enabled on this game yet, but I'll go back after I enable another module for this and show you how the spells work. And then you can fill in your backstory over on this tab and then find things like your trackers and actions and tactical mode over on the mechanics tab, which is becoming sort of a fixture of newer implementations that we're doing of systems, just kind of clumping together a bunch of the general mechanic focused stuff onto the mechanics tab. So there's my character sheet for a player character. I've got the skills panel where I can roll luck and sanity checks quickly and easily here, tests, and take a look at all of my characteristics and roll those as well as skills. And if I had any spells on this character yet, they would show up here. And those actions that I have ready to use from the selections on this pre-made character, as well as things from the equipment there. I've also got my trackers and any handouts that have been shared with me. That's kind of core alchemy stuff there. As with many of the items in Alchemy, these come with their own set of actions. So this character has the hockey stick and the penknife, and equipping those, this little filled in pip shows that it's equipped to my character, adds the actions for the hockey stick attack action and the silver penknife attack action. Within the Call of Cthulhu system, you can use these attack actions as they are, or you can add a bonus or penalty in, or your own arbitrary modifications to that action through the right-click menu here. So I'll just make a normal silver penknife attack, and we get a result of 86 on that D100 roll. Our target was 45, so that is a failure. And then if we were to have hit with that, it would have been 1 damage. So you can pop that open and see the results of that roll here as well. If we wanted to roll that with a bonus, we can choose how many bonus dice to add and make that roll and get us a very nice result of a 7, which is an extreme success in this case with the 2 damage on there. Over on the skills side of things, we have luck, which we can roll that right away from here. And this is actually tied into the luck tracker here. So if we adjust our luck tracker down and make another luck roll, we will have a different target than we had before because of the adjustment to our luck tracker. And the same sort of thing happens with sanity and your sanity tracker, which is right there on the character. I was like looking for sanity for a moment. And of course you can make characteristics rolls with straight up or with bonuses or penalties as needed by, your keeper's requests. So that is kind of the general overview. Let's actually throw a module on here that has some spells and take a look at what these spells look like before we move on to the GM side of things. All right, heading into the character sheet now, I will see some spells unlocked now. We've got a whole list of them for all of the different categories of spells. Many of these come from the Keeper rulebook. So we could do something like the Chant of Thoth. The use of this spell increases the caster's mental faculties, boosting his or her chance of solving a particular intellectual problem. Let's add another one. Bless Blade, that seems useful with a penknife. And we'll save those on the character and head over to the Spells tab to find some spells that we can use here. So we'll use Bless Blade. It gives us a nice description of what Bless Blade actually does and makes that 1d4 sanity loss roll for us automatically. And the Chant of Thoth similarly has its description here and the sanity check required for that, the sanity cost, I should say. Over on the GM side of things, we have the ability to bring in NPCs as with any game. Now that I have the Keeper module enabled on here, I've got a whole bunch of gnarly NPCs. Let's bring somebody in. How about Shoggoth? We'll go ahead and play Shoggoth. Take a look at the Shoggoth character sheet here. We've got all of their absolutely massive characteristics and some information about their roles and attributes. And of course, the evocative description for what the Shoggoth is. They've also got some combat attacks and abilities here on the sheet and everything you really need to just play that monster as is. So that is a quick overview of what we have going on with Call of Cthulhu. I think we'll be doing a longer stream on how to play and how to do all the cool stuff in Call of Cthulhu soon, likely over on our Twitch channel. We don't have anything set up just yet, but I think we're going to have a little bit more of a deeper dive on this one soon. All right, next up, let's take a look at the module changelogs that were just released this week. There's not a lot of exciting things to look at yet, but there's the foundations of something that I think is going to be really cool. So one place where you will find this immediately is in the marketplace. So if we head over there and take a look at one of the Call of Cthulhu modules here, like the starter set, if we scroll down beneath the description and the contents and the more like this section, there's a new what's new expandable section here that shows you the current version of this item and a changelog of everything that has happened to it over time. Right now, it's just been released. There's nothing else to show here other than it was released on this day, and that's the initial release. But keep an eye out for this sort of thing popping up on marketplace items and universe modules to find out what's new when we make changes to stuff that's been out for a while. We'll be coming in to add these changelogs to marketplace items. You can find that on the marketplace item itself, and you can also find that in the universe. If we go to that Call of Cthulhu universe and right click on any of these modules, you can click View Changelog and see the changelog right here on this screen as well. And the credits that used to be here are still here. They're just under the credits tab. So you can find all of the credits for your modules right there. Which you can also get to through the right-click menu directly. If you're looking for the credits, it's still available in that same menu item. So we will be adding to those over time, and I think it's probably also important to mention that you can actually do this yourself when you're creating universe modules. When you're editing that module, there's a tab here for the changelog where you can actually go in and you can keep your own changelog here of your own modules if you want to keep track of notes or just a general changelog about the changes that you've made to your own modules. And anything that you put in here will be visible in that changelog menu item, both to you and to anyone you've invited to collaborate on your modules. And this supports Markdown, of course. So once we get that in there, we can go to view the changelog and we'll see the changelog that I started putting in there. So nice little spot for you to keep track of that sort of change. But mostly I think it's exciting to start sharing some more information about the changes that we're making to modules that are a little bit older. All right, let's talk about handout search in games now. We've got a new way to find those and share those in your games. For this one, I'm going to go ahead and start a new pirate board game. Yar. We'll quick start the pirate board module to get those scenes added in automatically. And once we're in here, the universe search that's in games through this magnifying glass icon here or through the Control or Command K keyboard shortcut, this can now search handouts. So you have this list of handouts that in this game, you already have these ones available. Something like the Dark Caribbean might be a useful handout to share with your players. It's a big map of the Dark Caribbean and some information about that map. You can, of course, share this with your players by right-clicking and choosing Share. But the new way that you can also do this without kind of permanently sharing that with them into their handouts tab is through the search. So you can just search for like the Dark Caribbean and we'll get a bunch of hits for things like articles and enemies. But we also get a hit for that handout, which you can click this button to view it or this button to send it to the journal, which will pop that card in. And any player in your game can then click on this card to pop open the handout itself and take a look at all the goodies contained within there. And of course, the view button here opens that same thing. So if you're looking for a quick way to share a handout with players and you don't necessarily want to go through the steps of sharing it with them to have it show up into their handouts, maybe you want to have a message that sort of signifies that, this is a great quick way to get that out to them. Okay. We've also been working on a bunch of smaller changes and fixes. You can see all of those in the changelog, but let's check in with the roadmap. So, as is usual and customary here, the streamer mode features are kind of the last big thing that we need to work on. We haven't gotten back around to that yet. In terms of content, we just released Call of Cthulhu, one of our major V1 game systems, and we are now going to be fully focused on getting the City of Mist beta out the door. We have a couple of things left to do there, mostly around how tracking cards like tags and statuses interact with your moves and other rolls that you make in the game. So we're going to be working through that stuff in the immediate, next couple of weeks. So I should have a cool update on that next time. Beyond City of Mist, we still have a fairly short now list of game systems that are from the V1 Kickstarter that are currently in alpha, and we'll be working on releasing many of these titles. We also have a few other titles being worked on in parallel for different commitments that are pretty exciting as well. I don't have any announcements for what those are yet, but stay tuned for more on the game systems outside of the V1 launch titles. We are also going to be working on some much needed performance improvements and just kind of general tuning. We've been kind of sprinting really hard towards a few big things, and throughout the process of doing that, we haven't been paying too much attention to things like performance necessarily, and it's time to kind of dive into that for another week or two and kind of get some foundations straightened out, see what we can do to get performance just kind of humming along a little bit more nicely again. And then I think we're going to have a really big push for that before we stamp version 1 and leave early access behind us. We're going to be focusing a lot on just general kind of cleanup and improvements, fixes, getting all the kind of rough edges sanded off, and I guess you could say putting a new coat of paint on things as well. So very excited to get those things in place. And I think you'll see some progress on that as soon as the next couple of weeks. So expect an update on that in the next episode. All right, let's take a look at the Q&A for this week. Card mechanics. Any updates with regards to the card mechanics integration? If not, can you describe the card mechanics and how it will work in Alchemy? So we're still in the early design phases for the card mechanics. We have an idea of how we want it to look, but we have not started actually building that yet. We will be this year. I think we're going to be working on some semblance of card mechanics. We have a few commitments where we kind of need that, and some other systems where that will be helpful as well. So we hope to have it released later this year, but I don't really have any updates I can share on what that will look like, other than things that we've already shared in the past. So no real new updates there on card mechanics. Fallout supplements. When will we see the supplementals, Settlers, Wanderers, and new NPC packs added to the base Fallout role-playing game in the marketplace? For this one, I don't have an exact release date either, but I can say that we are actually working on these, and we have these in our near-term roadmap, and we should have them hitting the marketplace fairly soon. I'd say rough timelines within weeks to a couple of months to get those out at the latest. We have a lot of other things that we're juggling, but those are definitely kind of near-term priorities for us, and we want to get those onto the marketplace soon. All right, that's it for the questions and answers this week. Again, if you have a question of your own, you can find a link to the form where you can submit that question to me down below in the description. All right, that's it for this episode of the Devlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, head on down below and click the like button. Subscribe for future updates if you aren't already subscribed. Maybe share this video with someone who's interested in Call of Cthulhu and let them see what we've been working on. And again, we expect to have some more information and video content about Call of Cthulhu soon. Thanks for watching. Let's go play some games.